back to my channel. So today I have a very exciting haul. It's kind of a mishmash haul of fragrance buy stuff and winter stuff, but yeah, we'll just call it a weekly haul. I am so excited for this one, you guys. I've got 5 fragrances and I literally cannot wait for every single one of them. So we are just gonna get right into it. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. We have niche, we have designer, we have inexpensive. Like, it is just all across the board. Very, very exciting. I think I will leave the only one that I've had before. I have a repurchase, but like a reformulation of a repurchase. We'll leave that one for last. And we'll actually start with the only one that is a set. And this has been a long time coming for my collection because there's always been a lot of talk about this fragrance, but especially I feel like 2 years ago, there was a whole lot of talk about this and the differences between the eau de toilette and the eau de parfum. You guys know, if you watched my Get Some Scents video, tag video that I made, that I hate when fragrance companies do that, when the eau de toilette and eau de parfum smell very different. Apparently this is one where that occurs, but I finally found it in person. I don't know why I got in my head that I didn't want to buy it online, but I finally got it, got it in person, and so I picked it up. And this is Versace's Crystal Noir, the eau de toilette. With all the back and forth with every review I've read, there's a whole bunch of people that really say that they do smell the difference between the eau de toilette and eau de parfum. And then there are definitely folks who feel like they're almost the same. And so I'm all over the place as well. I can't even compare it to the eau de parfum because I only found the eau de toilette, but I was excited to find this set. I think it was like $39.99 for the entire set, or maybe like $42 or something. And it has the 50 ml of the fragrance, the body lotion, and the bath and shower gel. So we're just gonna pop out the fragrance itself. The word on the street, for those who can smell a difference, is that there is no coconut in the eau de toilette. There's no coconut note, which makes sense because there's no coconut listed on Fragrantica for the eau de toilette, and that this is a lot fresher and less spicy and less syrupy, which great, because syrupy and spicy are not two of my most favorite things. But I'm sad that there's no coconut because I'm really hoping I'm one of those people who can actually smell it regardless, because I love coconut. So this one lists violet, blackcurrant, black fig, jasmine, tuberose, frangipani, sandalwood, cashmere, and heliotrope, and vanilla. So maybe the fig and yeah, like the fig and the jasmine and the frangipani give off a coconutty vibe, because jasmine, even tuberose to a certain extent, but jasmine and frangipani for sure, and a lot of beachy fragrances like beachy florals, and fig sometimes combined with them could do that. So I'm very excited. This better, whatever it smells like, better live up to the hype. I've always wanted to hold this cap. I've always seen it in videos. I know, it's strange. It's not heavy at all. It's not like Gucci 2 at all. It's very light actually, but let's see. So this is the eau de toilette of Crystal Noir. Oh, okay, straight off the bat, it definitely has, it has a Coca-Cola vibe to it, and I'm surprised I'd never heard that from anyone. I have one of my Killian fragrances in that line where they all have those like very long names. I forget which one it would be, but I think it's Boys. Has a Coca-Cola note to it. This has like a Coca-Cola vibe to it as well. It does for me anyways. It is very fresh. It's almost unisex, honestly, in its opening. It's got a bit of like a cologne-y freshness. I really like it. It's definitely, I don't smell coconut in it, but it's definitely got fig, and maybe it's the fig with florals. The florals are very sweet. The tuberose is sweet, but it's not bubblegummy. So if that bothers you, not to worry. It's a very sweet tuberose that doesn't veer into the bubblegum territory. Very beachy florals, but strong beachy florals. And a freshness, like a real beautiful freshness with like fig and blackcurrant. And yeah, I really do like it. I'm excited to kind of wear it some more and see if it warms up. I know that the eau de parfum is supposed to be a lot warmer and spicier and syrupier, but I'm wondering if this one will, because the base notes are all quite warm and woody and like powdery and sweet, because it's heliotrope and vanilla and sandalwood, cashmere, and like right now there's not a whole lot of warmth to this, but in terms of a fragrance, I really do like it. So, ooh, okay, I'm really happy with that. That's Crystal Noir by Versace, the eau de toilette. We won't try out the lotion and the body wash, obviously, but I'm really happy to have it as a set. I actually give away most of my body lotions that come with fragrances to my mom because she's obsessed with them. She likes them like more than the fragrance itself, which I will never understand. And I use the body washes from time to time, but also like if people come over and stuff, friends or family, and they like them, I really just like the fragrances. But sometimes the sets are a better deal, so you might as well pick them up. So yeah, okay, that was that. I'm very happy with it. Let's move along. I couldn't wait, so I put this in second like order. I just need to get to this one. So that one I obviously found at like a Winners Marshalls. It was a great deal, like I said. The next one I got from Fragrance Buy, and I got it on a total whim. So someone had mentioned, because I talked before about how Rubina by Bvlgari of their Le Gemme Réally collection is my signature scent now. It is my baby. Even just smelling out of the bottle is stunning. Like, I adore this scent. And I've done even like a sample video where I tried out some more from the range, but I obviously haven't tried every single one. And someone had mentioned that their favorite one ever that they bought retail, and these are expensive retail, was Nylaia or Nylaia or something like that. It's Nylaia. And that they were freaking out because they bought it for retail, and like a tester bottle, which was like, I think $190 or something, had shown up on Fragrance Buy, and obviously there was just one, and it was their favorite from the range, and it was like their favorite powdery fragrance too. And I ifed and ummed about it for maybe 6 minutes. And then I just bought it blind because I'm insane. So a lot is riding on this because of my own reckless behavior, but this has peach, pink pepper, Hedion, bergamot, iris, jasmine, benzoin, orris, vanilla, ambergris, white musk, amberwood, ambret, isoe super, and sandalwood. So a lot of notes that I do like. The comments, even the negative comments on this one, were things that I like. Like, someone said it smelled like expensive face cream, and they didn't like that. And I think that sounds lovely. But because it was a tester, it obviously doesn't come in those stunning bottles like when I bought Rubina. The boxes that these come in are beautiful, but you save a lot of money because it comes in a tester. So this one's more of like a really beautiful like sapphire blue. And here she is. I'm gonna show you. I can't believe so quickly I already have a second one. Like, you guys will have seen in the video, the signature scent video, I'm like, I'm probably not gonna get any more. Wow, I really played myself. But they really actually do suit each other color wise, because some of these are like pastel colors. There's a green and orange one, and that wouldn't match, but these two are very beautiful jewel tones. So not like the bottle is what matters, the scent is what matters. And let's see, actually this matches my dress today. So let's see. Oh, I'm so nervous. Ooh, okay. I kind of wish I sprayed it on my skin, but it's fine. Immediately, this reminds me of something, and I can't for the life of me recall. I smell violet in this. I know that there isn't, but maybe it's like the iris and orris and vanilla, but there is a really beautiful, like, just violet note. coming out. It's really nice. It's much softer and much, yeah, it's softer and less like resinous than Rubina for sure. They're both powdery, but they're very different. There is something in my collection, for the life of me, it isn't coming to mind, because I'm thinking of Infusion d'Iris by Prada, not the original, but I have a little set. I should break that set open of like the minis of all the flankers and see if it reminds me of that. It's not like a lipsticky iris, but it's definitely more of like a papery iris. I think parts of this are also not a dupe, but they're also reminding me of Eternity Intense, because that's a very papery iris. But there is something else too. I can't put my finger on it. It's definitely not peppery at all. I was worried about that in the opening. There's none of that whatsoever. I don't get any peach in it either. Yeah, it's really just like a papery orris, a powdery iris, but not a sweet powder at all. And maybe soft woods. Okay, I'm intrigued. I definitely want to play around with this one a little bit more. I'm glad I picked it up for the price I did, because it was like a 1 in a million shot where you just need to snag up these testers on Fragrance Buy if you can. And so I definitely don't regret doing so. All right, the next one I actually also picked up from Fragrance Buy at the same time, because I've been iffing and umming about it for a while. And once I took a risk with this, I decided to just go through. It's gonna help out with a collection video I'm doing, you know, soon for you guys. But I saw that Pink Sugar's Sensual, the eau de toilette, was available on Fragrance Buy, and I had to pick it up. You guys know I'm a hardcore OG Pink Sugar lover, and none of the flankers have worked for me thus far, but I own a whole bunch, except for the most recent two, Creamy Sunshine from the most recent two. The blueberry one works for me, but it's only because it's so similar to the original in my opinion. I'm still working through it, but Creamy Sunshine I really did like, and I've always been curious about this one. And actually a bunch of like YouTubers that I watched, I don't even know, years ago, that would do kind of walk with me shops through TJ Maxx would always find these. I feel like in the States you guys always have Pink Sugar Sensual in your TJ Maxx's for super cheap. So because of that, I got it in my head that I was only gonna get it at like a Marshall's and stuff. But I've never seen it. And once I saw it on Fragrance Buy, I just told myself to get over it. And this is the 100 ml. So I took the risk. I'm hoping people seem to really like this one. And it looks like the original bottle with just these black lines. And this has tangerine, blackcurrant, bergamot, tiare flower, jasmine, orange flower, sugar, vanilla, and sandalwood. So already a good sign. I definitely can see vanilla because of the color, and it's probably going to oxidize, you know, even more as time goes on. That happens with my original Pink Sugar all the time, because I've gone through several bottles. They start pretty light, but no matter what you do, they get darker. Oh, okay. It's not that it's bad. This is just it's quite a bit like different than the original, like more different than I was expecting, which is good. It's not that it's the same, but the opening is very fresh. Like it's got a real citrusy opening to it. I feel like the more it stays, it's getting sweeter. The opening was very, very, very like orange, tangerine, juice, citrus. There's obviously a sweetness and a floralness that I do like. There's like, it's very much a fruity floral, much more than like a deep gourmand. And sometimes I love the original and how like candy floss gourmand it is, but sometimes other flankers have been really gourmand in a different way. Like gold sugar just does not sit right with me. This, while isn't gourmand as gourmand as the original, and it's fruity floral. It's not like boring or too youthful or too celebrity-like. It's just, yeah, it's throwing me off. I wasn't expecting so much of like a fruity opening. And I think also with that blackcurrant, it's, yeah, it's definitely more fruity than I was expecting. It smells quite different. I would say if blue sugar or the berry blue is so similar to the original, this is almost so different from the original at first, you know, in first impressions. Maybe as it sits on the skin, it'll obviously develop, but if someone had just told me to smell this, yeah, I feel like if someone had just told me to smell it without seeing the bottle, I wouldn't have originally guessed it would be a pink sugar flanker, honestly. Okay. All right. Well, that was interesting. Definitely interested in playing around with this more because I do like it. And that hasn't been the case, like I said, with most of the flankers, but I did want to get as many as possible before I do like a full pink sugar video. I can't wait to do that one. I've never picked up blue sugar, which is the men's fragrance, but I really don't think I probably will. So I do think I have most of them now. I'll have to kind of recap and check my collection, but I've always wanted to get that one, so I'm really, really happy I did. Then we go back to things I found at Marshall's, and I have started to check out their, like for winners of Marshall's and for you guys TJ Maxx or TK Maxx, I've started to check out their rollerball section, which I almost never did before, but I'm being a lot better about getting rollerballs and not just getting full bottles, or at least getting rollerballs of fragrances that I can only find in rollerballs if I want them. And recently I felt like a lot of replica fragrances are popping up. Like I picked up one earlier in a couple hauls ago, a Flower Market. And this time I saw Music Festival and I was very excited because I have never smelled this one. And I feel like I've smelled most replica fragrances, but I've never smelled this one. And this is based on 1969's Woodstock. It has a lot of notes, but they're very unique. This lists cannabis, red apple, violet leaf, patchouli, incense, tobacco, leather, cypress, and cedar. You probably can tell if you know that, like, why is she excited about these? None of those notes sound like her jam, but it's so unique that I'm honestly very interested, and I feel like I might secretly love it. And it's supposed to be unisex, so I have yet to try it, obviously, and I'm pretty sure I remember from Flower Market that these are actually sprays. Yes, so even better. They're not actually roller balls, and let's see. Okay. See, I was really curious about the cannabis note and whether it would smell like weed. There's definitely that there, but it's not, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's not like hemp body lotions, for example, like the hemp body lotions that like the Body Shop and everything have. It doesn't smell like that. But it also doesn't smell like a spliff or something. Like it's somewhere in between those two, because this is it smells kind of like a synthetic weed note. Very heavy on the patchouli and very heavy on like a real smokiness, like a smoky incense, bitter woods, like a bitter cedar wood. I have to say, obviously not your run-of-the-mill me scent by any means, and not one that is bound to be my favorite, but I actually really do appreciate having it in the rollerball and having it part of my collection, because I don't have a lot of things that smell like this. And I feel like if there's any time of the year where I would wear it, it would be fall time. It has an element of, and I know it's not in the notes, but it really has an element of like autumn leaves and like forest floor and just like earthiness. it does smell green. It smells like a green woody fragrance. So whether you smell the patchouli or the violet leaf or cannabis or just cedar wood and cypress, definitely unisex, but I would say slightly more male leaning, unless you like, you know, woody green scents that aren't really sweet at all. I think if there had been a vanilla note or a tonka bean to sweeten it up, even just 10-15%, this would have really shined, because everything else is so grounded. It's just something to give it some warmth. I wouldn't brighten it up personally. I can't smell red apple at all. I'll just be honest. I don't think it needs any freshness. But if I were to change one thing, and I'd add like a vanilla or a tonka bean, not sugar, not anything, maybe even like a really nice like sweet resinous note. Yeah, I think it would really help. But I'm excited to have it as part of my collection. I was really happy to find this, and that is Music Festival by Maison Martin Margiela. All right, and the last one is actually a fragrance I've owned before and finished. So I don't think you guys have ever seen it on my channel because I've finished it. Like, it's been in my empties for several years. And the only time you would have seen it is if you go way, way, way back at the beginning of my channel when I did like an empties collection video where I showed you all my empty bottles ever. But I was excited because I found it for like $20 at Marshall's, and it's apparently the new bottle, and there's all this talk about whether or not it's been reformulated. Apparently it has been, but on Fragrantica on the website, it's just that the bottle has been changed. I don't know, but this is the 2020 version of Lolita Lempicka's Lolita Lempicka Eau de Parfum. I think there's been overall 5 formulations. I had one of the older ones, I'm not sure, but one of the older bottles years and years ago that had the stem that was the sprayer. Now for a while now, a couple years, they've been this kind of cut glass apple shape. And I heard, I don't even know where, I think on Instagram, I heard that they were going back to, yeah, someone had posted that they were going back to the old bottles and what they used to look like. So they have yet to do that, but I was intrigued. I haven't had this in my life in a long time, and I did go through a full bottle, so I definitely do like it. And I was gonna just go by memory and see if it had changed, in my opinion, especially because there seemed to be like a back and forth of people, or at least people think that it had been reformulated, and the posts I'd seen saying that it hadn't been. So this has star anise, violet, ivy, licorice, cherry, iris, and amaryllis, vanilla, orris root, praline, tonka bean, white musk, and vetiver. And I really remember this being a very like licorice, like cherry, licorice, violet, iris, and I remember it being pretty strong on the licorice, and it's still being really good, because licorice is a food I hate, and yet I really have time and time again been okay with it in terms of a fragrance. So actually some of my fragrances that I really love have licorice as a note. So I think I just don't like the taste, but in terms of a fragrance note, I thought I wouldn't like it when I first started getting, like when I was really, really young, but I love it. So oh, okay. Now this is going totally off of memory, so bear with me, obviously. I could easily be making a mistake, but this does smell different to me. From what I remember, I feel like the one that I had was a tad warm. It was like this, but turned warm. This right off the bat is like, it's evoking a lot of the same notes and like memories of that fragrance, but as if it's like an iced version. It's kind of cool smelling, if that makes any sense. Whereas I remember that one being like, it still had the licorice, cherry, iris, like vanilla, and yeah, it had it had all those elements to it, but I remember it being warmer. Maybe I'm wrong. If you guys smelled older versions of this, was it not kind of warmer on the skin? This, I still really like. It feels as though it's like an iced version or flanker of it. Maybe if I was trying to if I had to like compare them right next to one another, I'd be more disappointed, but I haven't had this in my life in a very long time, so I'm kind of just happy to have it back. There's a real beautiful like violet iris powderiness to it. There's a sweetness to the vanilla that I think in this is way less than what I remember it being in the original. And star anise and licorice are two very prominent notes in this. And they're also the two notes that are the most I don't even go and say controversial, but they're the two notes that people find the most difficult. If you don't like those notes, no matter what people tell you of how amazing of a fragrance this is, and it is, do not buy this fragrance because there are very prominent notes in this. And I think I've seen people before be really let down and like turned off by this scent when they buy it blind. And it's always because they don't like star anise and licorice. So if you don't like those notes, you won't like this. But as it's sitting on my skin even more, or on my dress rather, I can notice a difference. Like I definitely now, from the memory of that, there is way less sweetness to this than used to be there, and less warmth as well. I feel like they've turned the vanilla way down, or it's a very light synthetic vanilla that like dissipates quickly. There's still that powdery freshness from the violet and iris, and you can still smell star anise and licorice, but even the licorice and cherry I feel like were way stronger and warmer in my older version. Yeah, this kind of feels like an iced flanker. If you've ever tried Insolence by Guerlain, and if you then tried the eau glacée, like the iced version, that's the kind of distinction I'd make with this, but also turned down, because I feel like eau glacée still kept a lot of the beast mode violet, candied violet that is Insolence, but this has like kind of, yeah, it's like turned it down. Okay, well, I'm excited to keep wearing it and trying it out. I wish I had like even a few drops of that original, but I'm definitely going to be wearing it. I'm glad to have it part of my life, but I was curious to see whether or not I could really tell a difference. And yeah, I feel like I can. All right, so now obviously I have to put them all in order. I took a beat to be able to really let them dry down, and I have to just say this was a very, very successful haul. And once I let them all really sit on my skin, all 5 are fragrances I'm excited to wear and try out and really give, yeah, like a good amount of trial and error, or just kind of review to. And it made it that much more difficult to pick favorites, but I made a last minute change and I'm happy about it. So in 5th place, I'm actually going to put Lolita Lempicka's reformulation, new bottle, what have you, the 2020 version. I do like it, and I like all of them, but I'm probably the least excited to wear this one, even though there are other ones, I will get to it, number 4, that maybe are less wearable for me. Because it's just not giving everything that I thought it was giving. If it was a little bit warmer and not so iced, I don't know. That's like, I could think of more negative things of this one, but honestly, I'm excited to have it as part of my collection. I will be wearing it. It's just in 5th place. In 4th place, and I did just switch them, because once it's on the skin, it's like stopped being so harsh. There was a real harsh greenness in the opening, but I have to give it to Music Festival. I also think it's the time of year. Like, this is a really beautiful fall-time fragrance. It's just a roller ball. I feel like I'm gonna throw it in my purse, and it's cozy. Like, it makes me want to curl up after a long like autumn walk with a good book, or like crochet. Like, it just gives me such, yeah, it gives me such vibes. I actually feel like this could have not been called Music Festival. I feel like this could have been called like Autumn Vibes, even though there is an Autumn Vibes of this, but I actually feel like this is much more Autumn Vibes than the replica autumn vibes that they made. So yeah, that's in 4th place. In 3rd place, this is actually starting to make me like it even more the more it's on my skin. I'll put Pink Sugar Sensual. This might be one of the really, really good ones, like so many of you have said. There's more of that original Pink Sugar that's seeping through now that really was not there in the beginning. It's sweet, certainly, but it's nowhere as sweet as like the overdose sweetness of the original. So if you've always hated that, this is a lot citrusier in the opening, and then even when it sweetens up, it's nowhere near that. So yeah, I'm excited to wear that one and try it out and have it be a part of that Pink Sugar video. So if you want that Pink Sugar video, leave me in the comments below and I'll definitely do it. In 2nd place, actually, and you might be surprised, I'm going to put, and I'm having a hard time pronouncing it, but I think it's Nylaia, because the 1st place actually really surprised me. I do like this one. It's quite soft. Like I feel like it's with Rubina. One of the things that impressed me beyond the packaging, the scent, the actual fragrance being exactly me and what I want a scent to be, it really lasts a long time. Like even on a piece of paper, I told you guys it lasted like into the 2nd or 3rd day. I could still smell it as like a skin scent on that scent strip, and it's very strong. This I can already tell is a way softer scent. It's sitting very close to my skin, and albeit I didn't spray a lot, but I can tell it doesn't have the performance level that this does. I may be wrong, I can come back and report back, but I can really just tell based on one spray, it is a softer scent, and that's totally fine. But yeah, and it also doesn't have, like, I felt like it would be just a dash of like, I don't even know, if there was like a dash of like sugared almond or something, it would really brighten that up. Or even like a sugared iris, the way Iris Dragé is from Maison Lancôme, would help that one out, but maybe that's just me. And in 1st place, I'm really, really surprised, but I'm really liking Versace's Crystal Noir Eau de Toilette. I keep catching whiffs of it as I'm moving around and clearing things up, and I really like it. I wasn't expecting to, because the hype was so real on this, and I haven't had like the best luck with Versace fragrances. I have pink crystal or yellow crystal, I think, and I don't like that one at all. But it's actually really nice, and I feel like there is something intoxicating about it that I can't quite put my finger on. So for me, this is 1st place and the one I'm most looking forward to wearing after the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, don't forget to leave me which one of these fragrances you've tried or you'd like to try in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye.